live, man, because I feel like I think we're live right now. Wassel, what's going on?
Nothing, bro. Excited to be here. Thank you for having me. It's that time again this week.
Yeah, cool, man. We've been talking for a couple minutes behind the scenes here, and let's see here, Wassel. Let me shoot out a tweet here because we're not on X anymore, man. So I'm just I was gonna let
Facts.
I'm gonna let everybody know we are no longer on X.
I'm gonna go and
Okay.
retweet that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay. Boom. So let me come here to everyone and just be like, yo, we are live. Come in and share your thoughts. I'm really trying to get people. Come in and listen and share your thoughts. There you go. I should already have this made, but I
No
figure people
worries.
might be coming in right now. So we'll give everybody a couple minutes if they are joining to kind of make themselves at home. This is the Daily Arc Recap Show. I am 12. I got my friend Wassel here in the building. And
What's good?
yeah, what's good, Wassel? Tell us what's up, man. Where you at? Real quick, man. How long you been into Arcblock?
Okay, so if we're starting there, I'd say going on now. Uh, I'd say just going on like 2 years, not extremely long. I
Sure.
got into Arcblock basically, or I guess almost 3 years now, just because I got into it the end of 2021, going into 2022. So you could say for the period of 2022, 2023, and now almost 2024. So I forget that 2024 we're approaching the final few months. It's almost Q4. So this year has gone by incredibly fast. But I would say, yeah, almost 3 years. And the first 2 years, it seemed a little slow. There wasn't too much happening. But this last year has been unbelievable. So many new users, so many, new excitements. And I just feel like the team itself has been progressing faster and faster. And the flywheel effect is, for Arcblock, so to speak, is slowly getting started. So yeah, that's how long I've been here, what I've been doing. And but yeah, what about you, 12? When did you really get
Man,
over into Arcblock?
bro, I think I
And
first
just
bought I think I first bought ABT, man, less than a year ago, man. It was probably at the end of 2023, man. It was probably like October or something. Man, I was probably, man, maybe, wow, shoot, it's almost that time, dude. So,
mhm.
uh, yeah, around that time, and then I got into my first bug bounty. When I first started building on Arcblock was probably just like 5 months ago, dude. When I first
Mm.
started the Hamstar site, man. My first, yeah, when I first launched, my first launch. So that's an interesting kind of concept, though, too, right? Like you get involved with ABT, you get involved with Arcblock before you actually launch Arcblock.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's kind of how it works. I first got involved with ABT just holding it, looking into the platform and trying to figure out what this thing might be. Is this a good investment? Because generally speaking, that's why a lot of us are here. We're looking for investments. And then it was right around that same time I started, growing and wondering, can I do more with these tokens? And thankfully, Arcblock was a platform that was enabling me to do more with my tokens. And I'd say it was honestly like a 4-month, 5-month learning curve before I realized I can actually like spend the ABT token and get a blocklet server or launch the Pages Kit blocklet. For a while, I was looking at the blocklet store just like, I don't know what this is exactly. And then boom, it just hit me out of nowhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is an Apple store. This is like an app store. I just go to it, I download it according to my wallet, and I can play with applications from there. I was like, why hasn't this existed already like prior? Like, why is this the first time I'm coming across something like this? This is super user friendly. I get what it is. I've experienced something like this pretty much my whole life with mobile apps. So I get the gist of what's going on here. And from there, it's been, yeah, the rest is history.
Oh, that's really cool, man. Because I was just looking at some of my older videos last night, and
Mhm.
I just kind of like scrolling through things. And let's see here. So here's June 20. Let me play you a short real quick. And
Okay.
c- you know, we jumped off the X Spaces, Wassel, because I just did not think that that was a dynamic enough platform for us to be sharing, all the stuff that we're doing on Arcblock, everything that Arcblock is doing. It's like we just needed. It requires a visual component to really, I think, to get into it, man. So bear with me as I try and navigate these new controls so that we can share with our friends on the other side of the screen here, man. Because this little short video, it's exactly what you're talking about, dude. This was my come to Arcblock moment. So can you see the screen that I'm sharing, Wassel?
Yeah, definitely. It's smooth. You're on YouTube Shorts.
Yeah. Let me see if I could play this. Okay. No sound coming out. Okay. I think it's up here. So let's see here. Let me see here. No, I don't want to. Okay.
To the Blocklist store, you got your own personal Discord, your own personal NFT mentor, your own personal website. You can have a payment kit where you sell anything, any ERC20 or your Stripe on Arcblock. Are you kidding?
I remember seeing that. Yeah. That was the one where I thought it was cool because that was like a short. I felt like when I saw it, I was like, you took the words right out of my mouth or like right out of my mind. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what is this behemoth of a platform?
Yeah, dude, totally, man. And that was fun. That was fun to make, man. But that was that. I was like, yo, hold up, bro. There's a whole app store here. Like, this guy's not just saying this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think that's kind of where I was at with at least crypto was just like everybody's always trying to say, oh yeah, we're gonna do this. We got this thing cooking, man. Just don't trip. Just get in the community, man, and just keep on talking and keep on posting our stuff. And we got you, man. We got this stuff cooking in the background, man. And it's like 6-7 months, and man, they're still cooking. And it's like, yo, I'm getting hungry. I'm sitting out here waiting for my food, man. And
we're starving, waiting for them to finish like the first meal. And we've already given them our whole life savings and our dreams and our hope into this project. And we don't even realize that they've already forgotten about it. And that's happened to so many teams and projects in this space.
Exactly. We ate the appetizers. The appetizers was good, man. We love the appetizers, bro.
If anything, I would say the crypto industry is a space of appetizers. That's why it's so intriguing and it keeps bringing you back because it has so many tasty, like you could say first, it has a bunch of tasty first launches, a bunch of tasty, first prizes, first appetizers, but almost no other team or project, or you could say very few communities have then maintained themselves and then like turned themselves into a kitchen, started making like steaks and all different kind of varieties of foods for new people to come in and join and eat that maybe don't want the appetizer. Because it's kind of like you only want to eat free breadsticks and salad at Olive Garden for so long. Sooner or later, it's like, I want some fettuccine Alfredo. Please bring me some eggplant Parmesan. Like, I want an actual Italian meal, and the appetizer just isn't cutting it anymore.
Okay, well let's get into that, Wassel. Because what does it say about somebody who only wants the appetizers, man? Is that a state? I feel like that's like my kids. It's like
I feel you.
We go to the restaurants like, yo, man, I just want those crayons so I could scribble on some stuff, man, and then just give me that appetizer, man. And then, you know what I'm saying? His taste bud, his palate is just not there yet, man.
Facts. No, I would say I think it's two reasons. Either the person's a bit naive and they're new to trying all these different foods and trying all these different things, or they're purposely being malicious and they're purposely remaining like ignorant. There's a combination of a few kind of people in the space that are like that, where there's those people who really are just they're excited about this because they're just getting into it. You could say they haven't gotten to the bitter moment. They've only tasted the sweetness of the honey. It hasn't really, marched its way down into their gut and kind of, saturated it where it's like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten all that sugar on an empty stomach. And so it's once that effect hits, you either get sick of the space, like literally, and you walk away because you ate so much candy it made you throw up, or you recognize like there is a substance here I was eating, but I need to start eating some other stuff or else this is going to, again, make me sick or push me away. And then you have those people who, again, either grow up or they remain childish. They remain kids and they just continue eating candy and candy and candy. And I mean, if you keep eating candy your whole life, you're either ending up fat and obese or dead. So it's not a good option to be that person who just likes the appetizer. You need to eat your greens. You need to eat your spinach. And what I like is this space is, what is it? So much, you could say candy and sweets. It was refreshing to finally come across and eat some greens and spinach at Arcblock.
Yeah. Get that nutrition, get that green smoothie in you, man. I think that you're right. There are some different elements to this state of arrested development. I jumped into a lot of spaces over the weekend, trying to put my feet to the fire, so to speak. I didn't really realize that, man. I was just like, okay, I'm talking with Wes, I'm talking with the Arcblock crew, but man, I got this MyPage and this application and these ideas, and really this is going to take off when I jump outside of this group of people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get outside. If this is a product, you know what I'm saying? And like, not just selling it to one group of people, man. I think that this product can help everybody who uses the internet. And so I got to start talking to everybody else who's using the internet. And so I jumped into a few spaces, and the first thing I noticed here, man, was that it's a hostile environment. At least the ones that I was going, the spaces where it's like, yo, come talk about your project. Because there's other ones where there's already like hosts and there's guests and they got a format. But there's this type of Twitter space where there's these people and they go, hey, we got all these people interested in crypto and stuff, so come shill your project. And they invite you to come up and they give you the mic and you can talk, and I had been in some spaces obviously in the past, but it had been a while, man. It was like a couple years ago when I was into the NFT spaces and I was in it, but I hadn't really been in it, man. And so I said, but it was always in my mind, like, I don't know, like I kind of felt like this was something you had to do. If you're in crypto, then you got to go to a Twitter space and you got to shield these people because somehow these people are the in.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said, all right, well, let me go. I got to go see the people, man. I feel like, all right. It's like you step in and automatically, man, it's like they're throwing spears at you, bro. Every single one I stepped in, man. It was like, yo, I was like, hey, yeah, cool, man. I just want to share my application. They're like, boo! Like,
yeah.
like one, I think that there's this they want entertainment, so they feel like there's like a Shark Tank thing. I was like, okay, I kind of get that. You guys want entertainment, but then as I was getting the same response to talking about an application, it was like they were not interested in this idea that I had an application. It was like, we want to talk about the charts, 5-minute charts for the meme coin. Okay, we're going to go deep into this 5-minute chart too, man.
They go deep, bro. I don't even get it. They can spend like an hour to 2 hours on end, like going into a technical analysis of a meme coin. And I'm like, bro, this isn't following any historical pattern you've seen in the S&P 500. Relax.
Okay. So this is what I'm saying, is that it seems like there is a state of arrested development inside of the crypto Twitter space, and that it's causing people to like act in that way, man, where they're like super serious about something that has kind of really very little relevance, but they are serious about this, bro. You know what I'm saying, man? It was like, and when I started talking about like an application, it was and I'm talking about one in particular. This one really resonated with. It was the largest one I was in, and I thought it was the best it spoke the best to the whole experience, man. And it was like, yo, we don't even like applications, man. Like nobody's gonna use your application. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, you guys do you guys really think that people are gonna use your meme coin for?
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously really do think that, but are like so much so that you're ready to just crap on me talking about like, hey, I just built this thing and I'm having fun and I'm using it for my own well-being and I think that we can like spread this around. And it's like they're not trying to hear any of that in crypto Twitter, man.
No, I completely agree with you. And I'm sure there's small areas like our own where there is that conversation happening. There are important, meaningful, collaborative efforts taking place. But you are correct. In the majority of these large spaces, they're hostile. They're kind of just degenerate. They're entertainment focused and they're kind of boring as well. But if you have an IQ less than 100, then you're going to be, intrigued from it. I will say the issue, I think, is that for whatever reason, in the past couple of years in crypto, when I first got into crypto in 2020, it wasn't exactly like this. There were crypto influencers, but for the most part, they had to, they had to really seem as if they knew what they were talking about. And if you were a crypto influencer and maybe you didn't know too much of the technology or you weren't a developer or coder in any way whatsoever, you had to have at least gone out of your way to read some of these white papers to figure out what these consensus models might mean, and then relay that information to the public that's watching you. And so crypto influencing, you could say in 2020, when I first got in, it seemed like a little bit more legitimate, where there were people who were trying to break down this complicated information known as the blockchain, smart contracts, tokenomics, whatever it be, that the layperson just getting into the space doesn't quite understand, and then relay that information, the goal of the project, what this project's intentions are, to the public. And that's how it was at first. And whoever was the best crypto, you could say podcaster or YouTuber that relayed that message well, ended up getting, you could say, the largest audience. It's now migrated and transitioned into something that looks more akin to YouTube influencing, where instead of it being crypto focused, it's all about like these actual YouTubers making vlogs and making prank videos and setting up boxing matches and all this stuff. So it's migrated from a sharing of information to, what is it? I mean, like some of these influencers, they're buying like Solana houses and they're buying, you could say, what is it? Homes that we've seen in the past where, TikTok groups, YouTube groups, phase houses, gaming groups, they live together and then they stream their lives with one another and create like an ultimate reality TV show. And the youth love it because it's 24/7 reality TV. Like it really is reality TV. There's some pranks, there's some stages, but the youth eat it up. And for the most part, the adults playing these roles that are roughly my age, anywhere from minimum of 20 to the oldest, probably, their young 30s, they don't care. They're bringing in money by, being stupid, doing dances. And you could say what's kind of becoming like a meme name in crypto Twitter is mogging people, and just kind of, I don't know, like I don't know any other way to explain it.
Bangers, we're looking at you, Bangers. We're talking to you, Bangers. Bangers is the girl from Solana who's at the
Singapore. Is that?
She's the one making all the songs, like the country song. And she's in the
that stuff has its place,
bro. Here's the thing. Bro, Bangers, what happened to you, Bangers? I'm talking. I was talking with Bangers. I could pull up, if they hadn't canceled my Twitter, I'd show you the tweets that I was tweeting with her 2-3 years ago, where she was just coming out, man, and she was like had this passion, right? And she started Third Land, which was her own site in Solana, which was where you can come in and you could make a profile on this page, and it was her social that she was creating.
Like her discuss kit that she was trying to make. Yeah.
But it was like Sandbox or it was like where you had an avatar and it's still alive. Birdland is dope, dude. You can go in there and you can put it's like a virtual gallery where you could go put your NFTs but
Oh,
it's
that's sick. Yeah.
It's just, hard. It's hard to use sometimes, and it can be clanky. And she is a sick artist, bro. She's a dope artist, and I was always pumping her up, man. But but I think what happened is that the limitations, technical limitations, start to pop up. Mental limitations of the audience, and then just it's that tyranny of low expectations again, where the adult in the room, instead of saying, kids, pay attention up here, look up here, the adult in the room just sits down and just starts playing Nintendo with the kids instead of leading them into a situation in life where they have a clearer understanding of what's against them, and that's what I think you're saying, or that's what I'm hearing, man. It's like there's these influencers that initially it was like, hey, the blockchain is a bit complicated, so let us break this down for you. Let us chew this like like a parent bird will chew this up and then spit it into your mouth, and so they were gaining some traction like that. What I'm wondering is if they just realized, they're like, man, we're breaking it down for these people, but most of these people are just really not here for the information. A lot of them are here just to gamble. A lot of them here are speculative. And so they just kind of like started to kind of go down in their content. Like instead of pulling the people up, they just started going downwards.
I would honestly say you're definitely onto something, and you're partly right. I would say it's a combination of both, really, where, a lot of the audience members that are, I can reference back to me just getting into the space. When you're new getting into crypto, you have an idea of what this space is, but you don't know. And so when you enter into it, it's these influencers that generally start to form your impressions, or your initial impressions about the space. And so you can say partly, yes, the influencers, to be honest, a lot of the biggest influencers that were here whenever I first got into the space, they're long and gone. And so they've kind of came and went, they made their money and they disappeared. But on top of that, what ended up happening is everyone just got so money driven. Everyone got so obsessed with money and launching a new token that it's a combination of, again, more people started showing up with only the ambition of making a gamble investment or a speculative bet. And the influencers, recognizing that, started producing more content to meet that demand. Okay, well, if you're looking for a token to make you get rich, I have a token that will make you get rich. And so we then entered this new phase where the influencers started launching projects and tokens. And that's when everything really started going downhill. In 2020, if an influencer was launching a project, that's like the last thing you wanted to touch. You only wanted to invest in a very serious layer one project with a professional team that was building this out and had serious ambitions in mind. You knew that there was no reason for an application to be out yet. We still haven't even made the foundations with these layer ones just yet. So it was still a layer one battle when I first entered the space. And sadly, it hasn't migrated entirely over to the application phase, except for Arcblock partly. But what happened is we still remained in this, combatant of arguments with, layer one, transaction speed, consensus, whatever it be. But the influencers that initially, and again, we have to keep in mind, a lot of the smartest people in the space aren't the influencers. They're the developers who never speak because they're nervous, they're shy, and all they know how to do is create the application, create the program, the smart contract, and let the code speak for itself. So when you have these macho, big-headed, arrogant, ignorant people creating content and taking the audience into a totally different direction than where the devs are going, you start to have a real split ecosystem where you're then realizing, why is the audience having such different expectations and such way crazier understandings and perceptions for the future of the blockchain than the developers? I think the best example of this is XRP, where the XRP community has gotten so, you could say, consumed in the belief that XRP is like a chosen asset by God. It will go 589 overnight. It'll become the reserve currency of the world. They're so sold on this idea that they never check to verify, well, like, are there any serious applications being built to go in this area? And if this is the real thing, then why has it been 12 years since we've made any serious breakthroughs? And so that's what I'm kind of getting at, is you could say there's a group of developers in the XRP community that are trying to build out things useful for XRP. And then you have a large majority of XRP holders who only watch YouTube videos all day, being told that their tokens are going to be bought by the central bank for $10,000. And so that then makes the XRP holder say, well, I'm not going to sell my XRP. I won't even touch it. I'm not going to use it. The Fed's going to buy it for 10,000 a pop. And then you have the devs over here saying, yeah, that's not going to happen. And if it does happen, you won't really know about it. And, putting all your hope in this so far outstretched idea and dream without any clear, like, pathway of application. Like, okay,
that is a recipe. That's a recipe for serious mental health problems.
Exactly. And I think that's where we enter we're in the stage of pathology right now, where I saw somebody post, in reference to psychology, that as a human, when you are not making serious progress in your life, and we all know it, and you know that you're not really moving in the direction you should or accomplishing the goals that you could, you start to create lies, and you start to tell yourself lies. So you come up with the illusion that you have made progress. And so right now, crypto's in a pathological lie, where for the past 10 years, we really don't know exactly what we've done. And so we have to start lying and say, like, dude, we've done it all. We've pretty much replaced the financial system. We've pretty much replaced the internet. We've done everything that you would want us to do. And then somebody shows up and like, well, where's the application to prove it? And we're like, that's still being developed yet. And so
we got that cooking. That's it. That's in the back.
Yeah.
So to just be clear, man, when your
I just wanted to say real quick, the bangers, not to throw any shade to her, but those individuals, they have a purpose in the space. But what goes wrong is when they become the dominant players and influencers of the space. Like, let entertainment be entertainment, but don't let entertainment become the predominant content, the predominant news, and everything happening in this industry, or else you're going to give everyone brain rot.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Well, that is a way to get your points back with bangers, because she's definitely never going to repost or follow anything I say ever again. So good move there, Wassel. But what I'm saying is to be clear, what I was saying is that's the recipe for mental health problems, dude, is when you're disassociated from reality. And that's what that is. That's a disassociation that's happening. And you're lying to yourself about what reality is in order to tell yourself that you're still on Earth. You're disassociating, so you're moving the goalpost so that you don't have to deal with this understanding that you're disassociating, man. And so what I'm saying is, it's very simple, dude. It's like if somebody's holding on to a coin, right? That's $2. And then somebody they see something, say they see a pencil that somebody's selling on their website for $2, and they got their little and the person's selling it for ABT. Hey, one ABT, it's $2. Give me one ABT. And the person goes, man, I really like that pencil, but I can't give up this ABT. I know everybody's telling me it's $2, but this thing's going to be worth $200. And so they don't get the thing that they want. They don't get the pencil. They just sit there and look at it, right? And then they hold on to something that is not really according to the metrics that society and the rest of the world currently is placing, it's not really worth that thing. But in their mind, they see it as worth that. And it's not even like, oh, in the future it's going to be worth this. No, that's the disassociation that they really start to place this value on a thing that's not really there. And here's the problem. Here's why it's unhealthy. Is because if you're really thinking, oh, this coin is worth $200 when everybody's telling you it's worth $2, your mind is going to constantly start saying, should I sell everything that I have and buy more of this coin? Because if you really believe that, if you have conviction that this thing is actually worth 100 times what everybody's saying, and that you might wake up tomorrow and that's the fact, right? Your mind is gonna go there, dude. You're like, dude, should I sell it? What? I should sell everything, bro. Like nothing is worth as much as this thing here, and that's not the case.
That's correct. And what you've done at that point is, and humans are very good at doing this. We've been doing it since the dawn of man, which is giving unbelievable value to inanimate objects. So making an idol out of something. Look at this stone. Look at this rock I carved. I carved it, but it's a god. It's made me. And so people are incredible at giving into imaginations. And you're 100% right. It's not healthy. It's healthy when you've discovered a treasure and the whole world doesn't notice it's a treasure. And so you're using foresight to try to imagine what could this treasure be worth in a world that recognizes its worth. That's a fine I get that. That's a smart investor's mentality. But when you're doing what like you were getting at, which is you're constantly disassociating from reality and always thinking, no, this token is this price. Like it's going to be this price without question. I know it. I believe it. Don't know how it's going to get there, but it's going to get there. And I need to get more of it. Or if anything, it's not there yet. I can't get rid of any of it. That mentality has destroyed more people in this space than I think anything else, which is the mentality of I need to sell more stuff to get more tokens. And then when the token gets close to the price you were promised, you don't sell any. Because it's not there yet. Oh my gosh, it's not at 200. It's only at $50. I can't sell any. And then it never goes to 200. It only touches, say, $75. And although you were sitting with more money you ever thought you'd ever have, you now have lost it all because you were expecting a higher price. So in other words, you were being greedy. And greed has corrupted so many people in the space. I mean, dude, there's people who are waking up and if they don't get a 1000x today, they're suicidal. I'm like, it's like, you guys understand that 1000x has basically been impossible to achieve in all of human history. And you guys want it by, Sunday afternoon. It's insane. And it's this complete overselling of it's this complete overselling of low expectations with unbelievable promises from these low expectations that it's just a recipe of disaster. And yeah, when the next bust comes, the next whatever it is, and crypto starts to crash after we reach some new all-time highs, there will be plenty of people who are hurt by that because they had the very mentality you were just talking about.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is spend your tokens, people. If you can, spend them. You know what I'm saying? And that adds to the velocity at which it's moving. So
don't be afraid to spend them. Yeah. Because the velocity does help. Like if you want ABT to be $200 a token, it's not going to get there by us holding it and hodling it. It can. But if you want it to get there and stay there, not run to 200 and crash.
That's what I was going to say. I'm glad you said that word hodl, man, because that's what I wanted to kind of leave this off of, bro, is that I'm suspicious of this term and why people came up with it, because hodl only seems to really be helping the coins, the tech, the chains that aren't going to produce anything very much, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't do anything with our chain, so just hodl. And and so here's the thing. Here's why people are going to continue to do it, man. And it's because hodling has worked for some people. But it is a logical fallacy to think that it will continue to work regardless, that that it will always work. That's not true. So the hot well, what was I gonna say here? I saw Sam Bradshaw jump in and say, "Yo, man, what's up, Sam? What's cracking, man?
What's up?"
Yeah, okay. So here's what I'm saying is that these people have intentionally put out this. It's like it's almost like a poison, bro. It's like the HODL poison, man. And trust me, nobody who's making a product that is going to you're going to be able to use and is going to like actually have value in your life. Nobody's going to tell you to HODL that coin. Now they might. Here would be the logical advice. Yo, this coin is going to skyrocket because people don't understand the technology that it's attached to, man. This technology is so dope, man. We can use it right now. So check it out, man. Here would be the rational thing. Go get yourself. Okay, you want to start a MyPage, right? Your page is discussion kit. Here's the rational way to talk about this type of investment, man. Or you want to start enterprise with Arcblock, okay? Go get 200 ABT for your enterprising mission, right? That's going to get your site up and running for way past a year. Okay, way past a year, probably a couple years. You're now invested. Okay, I'm going to invest this chunk into my enterprise. And then you go and buy another 200 or 800 or whatever you can, reasonably purchase and say, okay, now this is going to be the bag that I hold on to because I understand that this technology is going to catch on and then this bag is going to blow up. Well, you just don't buy the bag and sit there and go, oh yeah, this is going to blow up, guys. Yeah, this is going to, I mean, look at my chart here. It's at 117 and and then I got a double up Adam and Eve cup, and then it's going to, And I don't want to hate on there, but that's what they're doing. That's all they're doing on these spaces, bro. And it's crazy. So that's what I'm saying is like, who is listening to this guy, TA, for 2 hours about a meme coin, dude? If somebody's really sitting in here listening and pay attention to these people, bro, the audience has a problem.
Most definitely. And I will say sometimes it's like I'm like saddened or annoyed when I see majority of the audience or majority of the space still focused on things that I don't recognize as important, but then I get bullish because that leaves us to go do some other things while they're still distracted. It allows us to keep, remaining creative and building, so to speak. But that's one thing I just want to say on that note is, is just that, to say it as simple as possible, we're not throwing any shade on any of the people who do these things. I think forever, as long as crypto remains an industry, we will continue to see these players. It's just, again, when these players become like the presidential roles of the space, it's not good. Robert Mao, a CEO of Arcblock, a legitimate company, those should be the people who are hosting the largest spaces and everyone wants to get in and listen to. Not, a space held by Thread Guy or not a space held by a bunch of these other people who, again, like you, I jumped in, I wanted to hear what they had to say. And it doesn't even sound like, I could be wrong. I mean, you kind of get to the point where you're comfortable enough with somebody, you talk crap to them, like, you're ugly or something, you get comfortable to that stage. There's no way these people are all that comfortable with each other. They don't know each other. And so I can see that we're at a funny stage where a lot of the people who have made money in this space and who are carrying the influence in this space, they don't know what next year looks like. They think they do. They don't really know where this space is going and the direction that it's going because they are mentally limited. And that's why, we can't let these people take charge, so to speak, because once they've made one little app, they think they're like God walking on water. And that's why they can go do all this other bull crap. And you can't say anything to them because they've made their one little app. And it's like, okay, if it's about making, little applications, we'll start pumping out more and more. But for the most part, it's, how would I say it? It's the fact that a lot of the biggest voices in crypto actually don't know much about crypto. and they
Well,
don't.
hold on, real quick. Okay,
Yeah.
push back because
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's just a Twitter phenomenon, dude.
You mean like a Twitter phenomenon in the sense of like a
It's
lot of
like
people
that
talking don't know? Well,
Yeah,
that's what I mean is
that's what I'm saying. Like somehow they've cornered this idea that Twitter is the place where crypto is at. Like crypto Twitter. It's like, bro, that's not even crypto. Twitter, like you guys are meme coin. That's what it.
yeah.
It's
It's
not
kind
like
of said it branched off from FinTwit. So a lot of the financial or traditional financial interactions is on Twitter. So financial Twitter, you could say, was on Twitter before crypto Twitter,
Yeah.
but crypto Twitter took that. And
Okay.
at first, crypto Twitter did seem to be finance focused, but you said it, bro. Like it's overwhelmingly day by day becoming less and less of a respectable industry. If I was not in this space already and I came into it now, I don't know if I would appreciate it and like it as much as I did in 2020. When I came into this space in 2020, like most of the influencers and most of the crowd would laugh and mock and ridicule a lot of the stuff we've gotten into now. They would look at us like, what are you guys doing? You've lost the plot. You've completely lost the plot. And at the same time, Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs are dropping. You guys are the most bullish about meme coin, degeneracy or the revolution of memes. It's like, okay, maybe meme coins become cultural picks, like they find some kind of utility in communities or kind of cultural heritage or something. I don't know. I don't care. For the most part, if there's no application or utility attached to the meme coin, it's technically a security. What is it like? To give an example, I think the only meme coin I saw recently was Iggy Azalea's mother coin. She now has enabled the coin to where you can buy tickets with that token. So she's moved over from security to utility. So that's good. That's what we should be seeing. So shout out Iggy for making that jump. And
dude, that has to be the cringiest thing, bro. Is seeing the celebrity Twitter accounts where it's obviously not the celebrity who's tweeting, right? So it's this.
Yeah.
So it's this person. It's like LARPing as the celebrity, but the celebrity just co-signing because of the celebrity's low-key broke.
They're gonna get some money. Yeah, and they're broke. Like if you're a celebrity launching a token, that's the worst thing you can be doing because that's telling us like you need money.
Bro,
like, what?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not a good look. And I mean, if you steal enough money from us, you will get recognized by the SEC. I mean, don't think you won't. But into the future, I think a lot of people who thought they got away from the SEC are going to find out that they didn't. Because, I mean, once we get more and more, that's what nobody's expecting. Once we get more and more integrated into the traditional system, the legacy institutions will be able to really, dive deep into the blockchain and figure out, what some of these people were doing when they said they weren't doing it. And
my friend Void just jumped on here, man, and he brought up Scottie Pippen, dude.
Scottie Pippen is his videos are the cringiest videos I've ever seen. I think I saw one the other day where he held a basketball and he was like, Satoshi Nakamoto came to me in a dream and told me to bring back peer-to-peer crypto, and we're gonna do it with the Scotty token or something like that. I don't know. The Ballin token.
Hey, bro, we're on StreamYard now, bro. We're high tech. I'm sharing Scottie Pippen's tweet right now, bro. We are live, homie. Did Satoshi visit you in your dream too, Michael Saylor? Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. He's talking about seeing Satoshi in dreams. But this is the problem. What do you mean we got Scottie Pippen entering into the Web3 industry? I like how somebody said it the other day.
Saylor? Who's Michael Saylor, bro?
He's just like the big Bitcoin face name. He's like
I listened to him talk. You know what I'm saying? I hear what he goes. Oh, so what's this? Why is Bitcoin, so cool? He's like, well, number goes up.
Yeah, that's basically
why
his best.
Why is Bitcoin gonna change everything? Well, number goes up. Number goes up. It's like, bro, that's not logic, though.
What I'll say is when we abstract it out and try to theoretically come up with all these different ways Bitcoin can be world changing, you can play with some of these guys' ideas, whether it be from an energy standpoint to look, all the fiat currency is going to zero. We might as well store our cash in something that isn't going to zero. These narratives make sense. That's why they intrigue you. But you can't deceive someone with a total lie. It needs to be a truth with a lie. And that's how you can deceive someone. And so what I would say to anyone who thinks that Bitcoin is going to be a safe asset in the case that the governments, you could say, go completely bankrupt, or the governments become, you could say, I don't know, less trustworthy. I do agree that parts of blockchain technology, specifically Arcblock side of things, the decentralized identities, the DIDs, the decentralized identifiers, the verifiable credentials, those frameworks can make the government work easier and our lives easier with less government, where we can automate a lot of systems. But if you think that the government is going to give up their sovereignty or authority over the currency, which is what makes them the controllers of the world, they would quicker, like, just look at Tiananmen Square. They're going to quickly
they'll kill everybody,
over.
bro. They will
yeah,
kill,
with
they
the
will
tanks.
they're psychotic people, bro. Like,
Yeah.
no, these fools are not going to just let go without, burning themselves up at the same time.
Exactly. They will destroy the world before they let you take over it. And so that's
Check
very
it
likely
out.
what will be the inevitable end. Dude, yeah, I saw this just the other day, a new interview with Robert. I haven't watched this, but I need to shout out.
Oh, bro, you gotta check this out.
Okay,
you gotta check this out, man. Let's pivot here real quick, because we spent a lot of time on that. But hey, man, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep showing up in the spaces. Actually, before we go to the tomorrow, me and Wassel got a space tomorrow night with the Central Bros. It's like 7 o'clock. Make sure we're on a space with them.
Is that 7 p.m.?
I think it's 7 p.m. Yeah, 7 p.m.
Okay,
sometime. Check out the Central Bros. Those guys are dope, man, and they're gonna have us on their show. We're gonna be talking MyPage and Arcblock. So here, let's get into this. Let's get into this interview here real quick. I'm gonna play a snippet because again, we're trying to play with technology here. We're trying to do new things. We're trying to expand. That's why I was like, bro, we cannot stay on Twitter Space. For one, when you jump on a Twitter Space, you don't even have a back room. So like before the show today, me and Wassel were like chopping it up for 5 minutes. Like, I need a little bit of green room time with my people so that we can get the vibe right, bro. You know what I'm saying? Twitter, you just like hit the live button, all of a sudden both of us are out on the street. We're like, hey, yo, I got anything on my face, bro? You okay, bro? It's like, and it's all chopped. It's like, bro, that is the weakest tech to use. But it does have its purpose. I like your mentality. I'm gonna try to use that a little bit more, Wassel. Always understanding everything serves a purpose, man. You know what I'm saying? If we can look at things through that lens, like, then we're just gonna be less hateful, less spiteful, and I think that is a much more productive way to look at things, man. So shout out to you for bringing that up. So here is a interview with Robert Mao, Real Infinite Crypto. It's about 30 minutes long. Robert, right here, the clip I'm about to play. Let me preface this. On the screen, you're seeing Arcblock's homepage, and on Arcblock's homepage, I didn't realize this until I was listening to this interview with Robert yesterday, that this stack here, the way these components are stacked on each other, is the foundation of Arcblock, and that's really dope, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think artistic in a sense, you know what I'm saying? And this bottom layer, the identity,
it's an art piece.
It is. It's thought out. You know what I'm saying? In a way that it's just cool, man. I just think it's cool, dude. So it's like this identity layer is the bottom layer, and this is what he's going into now. As that foundational layer, this identity layer, this, as I'm listening and my little monkey mind is trying to figure this out, I'm thinking this identity layer, this is the key here to a functional Web3 environment. If you don't have a solid foundational identity layer so that the users of your chain are able to come in and interact with it in a way that they can maintain their sovereignty, right? And then you're at a loss. And I know that's what every chain is really trying to do, right? Every chain tries to have this layer of digital identity, but it falls short because it's like, it's just your key phrase or something that seems to be as far as they go. You get a wallet, and that would be it's a very shallow layer. But when we go into the DID layer of Arcblock, it is deep and wide.
Mm-hmm. No, most certainly. And what I'll say real quick, which is something that separates Arcblock, I would say, from majority of the other blockchains, is you are correct. That bottom layer you see there, the identity layer, for Arcblock, that is its foundational layer. For other blockchains, it's the blockchain. So this is where Arcblock and other, you could say, platforms immediately are different. The foundation layer of Arcblock is identity. The foundation layer of Bitcoin is the blockchain. Same with Ethereum, same with Solana, and same with pretty much every other platform. With that being said, the blockchain for Arcblock is more so just a higher up layer. It's a component. It makes sure everything's running automatedly, smoothly, and you don't need to worry about somebody, processing these payments and so forth. As Robert said, it's the billing and coding aspect of the entire platform. So that's how, Arcblock's able to be fast, be quick, be cheap, and you don't have to worry about all this consensus bullcrap because you're not focusing on consensus. You're not worrying about how do we agree on all these things. You don't need to agree on all these things because we all have our own identities. And you're completely correct in saying that the address you get is nowhere near an identity. That's like saying your Twitter @ where I @ you is your identity. That's a part of your identity. That's a piece of your identity. Your address for your Bitcoin wallet or your Ethereum wallet or even your ABT address, that's a piece of your identity. And so what most other blockchains do is they give you a 12-phrase recovery or they give you a seed phrase that then allows you to have the private key access to a single address, a single wallet address. And with that single wallet address, you sign into multiple applications and you receive and send crypto. What I like that Arcblock has gone and done is that when you create a wallet, what you're really creating is a identity, a self-sovereign identity, an SSI. And then underneath that SSI, you immediately get created a private public key for Arcblock, a private public key for Ethereum, and then you can hold other chains if you wanted to underneath. But the main difference is that instead of a single address with multiple applications and assets underneath it, you have a single identity with multiple addresses across multiple chains holding multiple assets and multiple, NFTs or whichever. So it's a totally different framework. And the way Arcblock has set it up is more secure and just simply better. That's why when you log into an app, like say you logged into Trinity, or if I log into Hamsters, it immediately creates under my DID address, my assets, you'll see your thing pop up, a whole new address pops up and a specific address for that app. That's so it's decentralized. We're not putting all the, you could say, weight on a single address. You're putting all the weight on a single identity.
Let's listen to just a minute here of this. Just 1 minute here, Wassel.
Let's do it.
So those you can regarding this is kind of like infrastructures to enable the DID, to be able to work. So these layers in this identity layer, from this point, this layer actually it has nothing to do with the blockchain itself. It's all about the identifiers. It's all about the cryptographic and the verifications.
Okay.
On top of that, so you can see there's a box we call the compute, storage, and the blockchain. So compute is basically if you want to build application on top of a blockchain, no matter what, blockchain itself is not enough. The blockchain, I would say, blockchain itself is just a very expensive and a very slow, but verifiable and the immutable storage. So it's kind of like a special database. It's the position of the blockchain in the whole system market is equivalent to the database, but it solves some problem that database cannot solve in the past. Right? So that's the innovation point of the blockchain. That's why it's important. But just putting everything on the blockchain is actually not feasible, is not doable. You need some other stuff like the storage, like the computing, to be able to support the full applications. So that's why I'm thinking the Arcblock, even though a lot of people think, when people think about Arcblock, you think Arcblock is a blockchain company, but actually blockchain is just the one piece in the Arcblock architect, because we built, and the most of the focus actually that we're spending are on the computing side.
Oh, so did you hear all that, cool, Wes?
Yeah, I did, and I heard it perfectly.
Yeah, so that's what stood out to me there. Was Robert's attention being focused on the DID foundational layer, but then also, him saying that the blockchain has a purpose, right? Has this immutable things that it can do to us. It gives us these tools, but that the bulk of Arcblock is in computing, and when you see, so this is what I took from that, Wessel. I tried to understand that in my own experience. When I log into my sites, by the Daily Arc, MyPage, it's so smooth. And I see that computer, it reads my NFTs, whatever site I need to go to, my DID wallet just checks the NFT, looks at those credentials, and just puts me right to where I need to go. It just takes me there, man. And it's a very automated process. I don't ever put in my name or a password or really have to click too much. And so that's when it made sense to me. I said, oh, the computing, that's why everything is so kind of automated feeling, is because the amount of computing power that's going on here is greater than other places where I'm at, where I have to manually put in my information and verify all these things. That's the amount of computing power is not great. It's not as great in these places where I have a computer here that is able to pick up my verifiable credentials, take a look at them, and then just get me wherever I need to go. I think that that's a really big part too when we talk about Web 3. If Web 3 is the bridge between the blockchain and Web 2, like my man Vinny points out, right? It's the computing, it's the amount of computer power that's being put into that. How much can this computer make these things talk to each other? How smooth can this conversation go between these two entities? And a smooth process is Arcblock.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. And what I would say to that is, when you open your DID wallet and you see, say, your tokens there or the NFTs in your wallet, you're glimpsing there the blockchain. But when you go and do the thing that you just described, logging into your website, verifying it with the NFT credential and so forth, it works smooth, and it's, an amazing experience of software. That's the identity system. And so, again, what I like about Robert, what I like about Arcblock, and you could say what the platform is attempting to do and has been attempting to do, is that this is blockchain 3.0, which is that the goal is not anymore the blockchain. We should have already figured out by now how to make the best or most efficient layer one for our needs. The goal is now going beyond blockchain. And Arcblock enables that to where, we're talking about a platform here that has a DID identity system connected to its entirety. It's a cloud platform as well. So you can upload resources, download resources, and it's virtually somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like normal cloud interactions work. It's a cloud platform to where you can send me a passport and you're tweaking a website on your or on your Pages kit, and then I can access it too from a totally different location. It's cloud native in that respect. And I've used a few other cloud platforms like Microsoft and so forth when I worked at Amarillo College. And bro, it feels like you're using, compared to Arcblock, it feels like you're using a 90s application. It looks ugly. It feels ugly. It sometimes feels slow too. I'm I don't know what these private enterprises are using, but if they're using this, they're literally going to freak out when they see Arcblock and they see the beautiful user interface and just how aesthetically pleasing everything is and how smooth it is. But
and
getting back to
you're paying with crypto. So not to cut you off there, Wessel, but this was also another thing that when I jumped into the spaces, I felt like was being kind of met with low regard. Is like I was like, yo, I got this application, and I was saying it, I was like, and you can play with crypto. And everybody kind of like was like, oh, that's whatever, you pay with crypto. I was like, well, I thought this was the crypto space, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's such a foreign idea for them that their reaction is what you saw or what you heard. Like, why would I spend my treasure? It's like, first of all, you're just got done talking about how you're going to dump it on somebody the moment it reaches like a penny. And so it's now a treasure. Okay. But then you're unwilling to spend it. That's how you can see the frauds from the serious people is if you're unwilling to spend your token, but you're more than willing to sell your token, then you're only here for the money. And stop telling me you're here for the tech, because you're not. And so it's like, yeah, you're here to make a profit, go make your profit. But we're here.
They act like that's not even a big thing. That's what's strange about this pathology, right? Because you said 2-3 years ago, if you brought out an application that was like, yo, you could build this web page, bro, and you could have it discussed,
mind blown,
and you could pay with crypto. That would have been the crazy thing. Was like, damn, you could pay with crypto. That is so sick. But
that's what everyone was waiting for. Yeah.
But the hucksters now, the tricksters, they've now, been able to make it seem like that's not really that big of a deal. Like
they've changed the narrative. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can play with crypto. That's not even really that cool. It's like, that's
all they're doing. Like, playing with crypto is basically what all these guys do. They might have, they're just jerking each other off. Literally, they're just letting somebody make money off them to then make money off somebody else. So then they can make money off somebody else, and then somebody else make money off them. And it's just a crap show of liquidity moving from one fool to the next fool to the next fool to the next fool. And then you see one fool, he made it somehow. So, there's signs, he blew up, he got his new Lambo or whatever. He's going to the club, he's popping bottles. And then it's like, okay, great, you made $1 million. Where's the app? And that's why, sometimes, I used to get frustrated by these people. I'm like, they're making all this money and then they're not doing anything with it or whichever. And it's like, I've gotten over that. I thank God that they made their money and then have proven to everyone they don't know what to do with their money. So that if the time comes, we make some money, we get to show people what you can do with money. That's what blows my mind time and time again, is how rich so many people are, and you almost don't know about it. And I'm like, why do you have all this money for what? Like, just to look at it? Like, I'd be going crazy if I had some of these people's, billions. And I'd be starting a new nation already. I wouldn't even be waiting for somebody to give me the approval. I would just be like, guys, we're going to this spot and we're starting a new country. If you're down, come to this spot. And, it's like, people think you can't do that. That's literally what men have been doing since the dawn of time. I don't like this area, I'm going over here. And we're going to just start
that's
a
what
whole new city.
That's what I had to do. Myself, man. I mean, not to say that I'm like on the same level, but yeah, man, situation wasn't right where I was at in Cali, dude. So, you know what I'm saying? I already had a family. I was established, but I was like, yo, man, we got to get, this ain't right, bro. We got to get up out of here. Boom. And best thing ever happened to me, man. Pushing yourself, and maybe it isn't, but to your point, it's just that push. It's being in charge of your own destiny, man. That really, it doesn't matter if you are living in the slums, man. If you feel and you're confident that you are the one making your decisions, bro, you're gonna have a smile on your face, man. So, Wes, dude, we talked already for an hour here, man, and I wanted to show you this blender kit, bro. And we could keep going on about the news, but do you have like 20 minutes where I could show you this blender kit?
Let's do it, bro. I'm here. Okay. I mean, I don't got anything else going on, so let's get it.
All right, let's go, man. Because I could keep on going, bro, but I wanted to. You said, where's the app? Okay, so let's show the app.
Yeah, where's the app?
Let's show the app. Okay, so what I did, Wassel, is I put together a. Let me just slow down real quick, okay? Anybody who's listening, thank you for coming to the Daily Arc. This is our weekly recap show where we talk about Arcblock, the projects that we're doing. We talk about MyPage, Hamstars, Oblivion, Trinity. We talk about all kinds of stuff, man. So if you made it through the first hour, big ups to you. you're always welcome to chime in, give us your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? We're a new show, and I'm just learning how to run the controls. Okay, so right now, what I'm gonna do, Wessel, is I want to show you the NFT Blender kit on Arcblock. This is a blocklet that anybody can launch. Okay,
Cool.
and so first thing that I'm gonna do is show you this image. Okay.
Okay.
So this image here is a pixel image.
It looks
It
like
is
a
made-
pixel totem.
Yeah, it is. It's a pixel totem. Okay.
Cool.
I have a background here of the desert. I have you can't really see it, but there's a light glow here. There's a little yellow glow.
I can see it. Yeah.
So that's
Looks like a
2
little
layers.
aura.
Yeah, there's a little aura. I have the totem pole. Okay, so that's the third. And then I have this butterfly here, and I have this dinosaur. So I have a total of 5 layers on this image, Wassel.
Okay.
Okay. So here's I wanted to show you the image, and then I'm going to show you how we use the NFT Blender to make this image. So here's the image. Now, the next thing that I do when I'm using my NFT Blender, actually, it's kind of the first thing. I wouldn't usually show people the end product. So the first thing I do is I have to go to, why is that not showing up? Okay, there it is. Oh, what? Okay, I got to have that open. Is that what it is? Okay. What I'm going to do here, Wes, is I'm going to show you my Adobe Illustrator screen. Can you see this guy?
I can see it.
Okay, so it's a different image, right? It has a city background, right? So if you look over here on the right-hand side, Wassel, where my cursor is, can you see these?
Correct. I can.
These are different assets. Each one of these represents a different asset. I could take them all away, and this is what I'll do. I'll take them all away, okay? So now you just see a blank screen, right? White screen. Well, I have 5 different backgrounds, so I'll choose the desert background. I could choose the space background. I have different backgrounds, okay?
Okay.
So I choose the background, and then I choose which light I want. I have 3 different lights. I have a white, a black, white, yellow, and a pink. I'm going to choose the pink light. So you can't really see it. Let me choose, maybe it didn't, but it's there. There's this little aura. You can't really see it, but it's there. So then that's my second asset. I'll choose. I have 5 different totems, so I'll select my panda totem. Okay, there's my panda totem, or I could select my Alaska totem. There's a little Alaska totem, or I got a cyber totem. Okay, so there's my 4th. Oh, excuse me, that's my 3rd. That's my 3rd, and then I got a butterfly. I got 2 flying objects. I got a bird or a butterfly. So there's the bird. I'll turn on the butterfly. Here's the butterfly. And then I got 2 little walking objects. I got a little alien guy here, or I got a little dinosaur.
Bad.
Do you kind of see what I'm building here so far?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I can mix these up, right? I can mix and match these different assets. All right. So perfect. Once I collect all these assets, once I get all of them where I want them to be on my image or on my canvas here, what I do is I export all of those assets, and I export them as individual assets. Okay? So what I'll show to you now is what that looks like. So I create my assets, and then I export them. So you're going to see here a few folders. One's called the backlight. So this is those auras. I have a folder of the auras. I have a folder of my backgrounds, folder of the flying things. What you're going to see inside of my folders is also a box called nothing. And I'll get to that. But these are basically blank canvases, blank flying objects. You'll see what I mean by that, man. Okay. So I do that with all my assets, right? I get them all into folders. All right. Boom. Now, once I've exported all of them, I'm going to now upload them to my Blender blocklet. Okay, so let me come over here to my dashboard. It's my Hamstars dashboard. It looks kind of empty because I'm moving some things around. But I have my NFT kit here, the store, the maker, and the Blender. So if I open the Blender here, and here's the app, guys. This is all on Arcblock, in case you're what. All of this is on Arcblock. Okay, these are applications from the store.
5 apps. 5 apps right there.
Okay, these are all applications that you can use, or you can compose together and make your own applications from. It's pretty wild. All right, so let me make sure I'm on the right. You see here? Okay, perfect. Now let me go back to my Hamstars screen. I opened up the Blender. It's not. I got to share my Blender with you. Okay, that's the tricky thing about this, is that I have to constantly be sharing the new screen. It doesn't automatically just open up the new screen. So
it doesn't just follow you from screen to screen. Gotcha.
It doesn't, right? So I had to open up my Blender. Once I open up my Blender, that's going to come here to this page. All right. I'm going to create a new template. All right. Which I will probably have to bring you up to date with. No problem. Let's try to find a way to make this a little bit more automated. That's going to be part of our blocklet that we're going to make up coming soon to you guys. All right. So now I've opened up the Blender, and I've opened up the create template area. So now what I need to do is I need to take my assets and I need to load them onto the Blender. All right. So I'm going to do this as quickly as I can, Wassel. I'm going to add materials to canvas, and that brings up another dashboard. I already have made some templates, so you see assets on here. These are not the assets I'm going to use. I'm going to put add material. Okay. That followed me. Okay, you can see me. Add material. So that brings up this place where I'm going to load up my materials, load up my assets. All right. So what I do is, I don't know if you can see that's great. No, you didn't see it, but I'm now at the folders, right? I have my folders, and I'm loading my folders onto there.
I see the files loading. So yeah, I didn't see you drop the folder, but I see the assets loading.
Okay, so those are my backlights. I dropped the folder in. As soon as I dropped the folder, 3 different assets showed up, right? Because that's what was in that folder. So now I hit accept, and you're going to see now, let me close these other ones so they're not in our way. Okay. Let me close these. You're going to see here at the top, backlight 3 total. If I expand this, these are my assets. Now, when you export the assets, you have to export them so that they have this transparent background. That's why they all have the checkered background. And you do that by exporting things as a PNG file.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'll make a more detailed tutorial.
Yeah, I would say definitely. I would assume just because I'm not as familiar with the Blender as you are, and I'm not too sure anyone else is. So I'm sure there's people out there who are definitely going to be curious to use the app. So for sure, make a tutorial if you haven't already.
Yeah, and there's actually the Arcblock written out tutorial is pretty dope. If you
there is one? Okay.
There is one, man. So if you take time to read the documentation on that and at the same time work with it, it's much easier. So I loaded that up, okay? Now what I need to do is add more material, okay? And I'm going to load my background, all right? So then I just type in background. And I didn't already do this, Wassel, because I wanted to show you in real time how this worked, you know? I could have done this last night and you know, just jumped on here and got it going. But I wanted the audience and for you, because you asked me to show you about the Blender kit, man. So I wanted to kind of show you in real time. Now I'm loading up my totems. So I'm just loading up each folder and labeling it as I go. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. And I was just going to say, I'm glad you are doing it live because, I mean, so many demos are done pre-recorded and then they play it, and then they make it look perfect, so you feel like you saw the product. The best thing to do is no, let's just do a live session, a live demo.
Yeah, and I made this project very limited. You know, a few different assets, just to kind of show you how quickly or how easily it can be done. My Blendabonk has over 100 assets on there. So the Blendabonk is crazy, man. This one has like 10 assets, maybe 15. Okay. So I got all my assets loaded onto my NFT blender. Perfect. Now I hit confirm. Okay. Let me, okay. So it followed me. Perfect. All right. You can see now I'm at that canvas area again, where I got this big blank transparent canvas. All right. So let me come back over here, and it says add materials to canvas. Okay. Like I could hit this one, the text, and you see it pop up here in the corner, and I can start to write things like I'll write the daily arc. Okay. So you can do different texts, or you don't even need to upload things. You could do that. You could also upload pictures with this one, but I'm going to go ahead and delete that layer. Okay. I'm going to upload my materials. All right. So here is backlight, select all. I selected all those materials. Okay. Here's my background. Select all of those. I'm going to come through each one that I just uploaded, and I'm going to select them all. Okay. Hopefully none of the other ones that are on here are selected. Let me make sure that that's not the case. Okay. It doesn't look like it. So I have selected. Oh, I see it right here. Total material count 34. Okay. Is that right? I'm thinking there must be something else selected here, man. And I don't want anything else to come onto this canvas that I'm going to make. Let's see. 3. Maybe that's. Oh, it's. I see. Select none. Okay. I see what happened there. I had a background I had a folder already called background. So when I hit select all, the background, it just brought in way more than I needed. Okay.
Understandable. Yeah, I saw that whenever you started scrolling down. I was like, okay.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. So now I got 21. That sounds about right. Let me hit confirm here. All right. Now you can see all my assets have been loaded on, right?
Correct.
6.
Correct.
6. So now I could open these up. I got my backlights, my aura. I got my flying thing. Oh, okay. I got my flying thing. And then I got walking. Okay. Again, in flying, you're going to see 2 empty ones. In walking, you see 2 empty folders. Okay. And that's going to make sense here in a minute, man. So let me get rid of these guys here, because I just did a whole bunch of stuff here. Okay. So my canvas is empty. I have all of my materials loaded on. All right. So now here's what I got to do. Okay. I need to get these materials onto my canvas. First thing I got to do here, Wessel, is I need to make a frame for my canvas. So if you see my cursor here, there's a little frame icon. All right. This is the rendering area. In this area, whatever's inside of this is what's going to render. What's outside of this is not going to render. So let me go ahead and put on my first background. I'm going to hit background. Okay. So obviously my background is much larger than my rendering space. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So I just get my rendering space to be the way that I need. So let me lock this here. Okay. This takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get a hang of it, it's super fun, dude. Okay. So here, I just made my rendering space, the frame fit that background. Do you see that?
Correct.
Okay. All right, boom. So I got my rendering space the way that I need it. Now I got that background over here. I'm going to go ahead and I got to upload all my backgrounds now. Okay. I just upload them and put them into that same space. Okay. So I got 5 backgrounds and I'm uploading them into the same space. And if you see this on the screen, there's a little crosshair to let you know when your image is directly centered.
Correct. I see that.
And I'm going kind of fast here right now, but you know, it just
no, you're good. I'm staying or I'm following along, so you're straight.
Okay. So I got all those backgrounds in. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is come over to my layer. So the first image is my background. The next thing I need to do is the backlight. So I'm going to put in the backlight. Okay. So now I have a backlight over my screen. I'm basically rebuilding my image, right? I put in the backlight. I drop in my totem. Okay. I put in the walking thing over here. I'm using that crosshair to let me know. Okay. And then a flying thing. Okay. So I've uploaded all these. Okay. Boom. There's my image. My image has been recreated, right? So here's one thing that I didn't need to do there, Wassel. I don't think I needed to. I didn't need to put in all those backgrounds. So I'm only going to put in the one background. Okay. Yeah, I didn't need to put all those in. I just needed to put one in. Okay. Here is my picture, right?
Correct.
Okay, so let me quickly share with you here this image again, so just to kind of refresh what I was initially trying to make. Okay, so stop screen. Okay, present, share screen, window. Here, my image. This is the image. That's the image right there that I'm recreating, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, so let me get back to the ham stars. Okay. Now, when I go to back, I'm going to go back to, I'm up here in the right-hand corner, Wassel. Okay. I click on background. Okay. One of the options that I have here is random material in background. If I hit random material, I toggle that. Okay. I need to do that. And I need to toggle that for all of my layers. I need to toggle that for backlights, for totem. I need to hit random material used in background. Let me show you why. Okay. So here is my NFT maker, or here's my blender. Okay. Let me, okay. I need to click on here. All right. Here we are, Wassel. I got them all. If I hit preview here, this preview creates the image that I just uploaded. I put in one background, I put in one totem, I put in one of each. It created one image, right? That's all it could do. If I come back to background and I hit random material in background, okay? Now I go back to preview. You're going to see max mint count is 5. Because what the NFT Blender did, you see, it used all of those assets, but it brought up one of each background.
Yeah, I was honestly curious, and I thank you for showing me how it is you create in the NFT Blender a generated like NFT collection where the mint after the next. I mean, I can do it to where I have to upload every image, so to speak, and that's why the one after the other is different. But what you're showing us is how you could take a few assets. You don't even need, hundreds, but a few assets, and create dozens to hundreds of different NFTs with different variations.
Exactly, Wassel. Let me go through now and hit backlights. Let me toggle that random material. So all I had to do was put one asset from each layer onto the canvas and then hit random material. Now the NFT Blender is going to randomize that. So I hit it in every single one. Look at this. Max mint count 1,200. So when I preview now,
oh my gosh, yeah, and I can see the chain or the page numbers.
It's going to show me all of the different variations with a jungle background, right? Each totem with the little alien or the little dinosaur, with the butterfly, without the butterfly, with the bird, with the alien, with the pink backlight. It gives you every option, every combination.
Perfect. Yeah. What's crazy is I was just going to say in 2021, I remember taking, it was a class by the guys that we're going to be talking with tomorrow, Decentral Bros. And Justin, this is when NFTs just came out and we were starting to get more curious about NFT collections. And he was doing a class showing us how to kind of do what you're doing here, but it was all code. And I was like, I can't do this. This is just not for me. So it's awesome to see because so many people still want collections like this, and they want to make collections like this. The ability to do this in the NFT blender, and then the efficiency of after doing this, every NFT is a verifiable credential to use as you would like, is just incredible.
That's right. That's right. And so let's not let that go be past people's heads, Wessel. Okay. So let me hear. Let me stop sharing. Okay. If I go back to my dashboard and I go to my NFT maker. Okay. So I got everything. That's all I needed to do to load up my template. All right. I made the template. Okay. So let me share with you here what you're talking about is I'm going to my NFT maker. Okay. So let me share here. Now I'm at the NFT maker. Okay. And I've made a bonk collection so you can see my bonk, and I made the Arc collection so you can see the Arc collection. Okay. But if I hear create collection, now there's two options: create by template or create by local. What to your point, Wassel, when you hit create by local, let me do that real quick. Okay. Basically, you see this box here. I would enter in all of the information about the mint. I meant the name of it. I meant the name of it, all that. And then I would take my JPEGs that I already had saved onto my computer, and I would upload those onto here, already made, right? So
that is correct, yeah.
I've already seen them, right? Which is cool because I could kind of select how they come out, and I have some.
Yeah, depending on the artist you are, you're either the template artist or the local upload. I'm more so local upload because I like to know what's coming out before anyone's even minted it. But for the most part, there's incredible. I mean, some of the biggest pieces in the space, from the squiggles to what is it? The Fedoyas, I think that's how you say it. Some of the biggest NFT collections that are being sold at Sotheby's now are generated NFT collections like what you're showing us here.
Yeah, exactly.
And because people like the uniqueness of, like, literally the image I'm looking at was not existent until I clicked mint. And so now it's been created instantaneously. And even you could say the developer creating this entire collection might have not even had this specific image in his mind. So that it opens up really interesting doors.
Maybe he did. So
maybe he did. Maybe he didn't.
So yeah. No, what I was going to say is maybe I put in a layer. Maybe you put in a layer. Maybe somebody else puts in a layer. And none of us saw what each other were putting in. And then it's loaded into the blender and then mixed up. Or let's say it's Adidas that makes a layer. And then it's McDonald's that makes a layer. And then, you know,
I could see something blowing up.
I'm sticking to the obese mind here. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I mean, whenever you said Adidas, what I thought about is because sneakers are so big, I like sneakers. It would be sick if, like, Adidas, I mean, they kind of already allow you to customize your sneakers, so to speak. But yeah, if you could go in and add a layer, and then someone else go in and add a layer, and then Adidas say, we're creating a line of sneakers. We want 100,000 people to come in and add one layer. And then we're going to take all the layers and create generated versions of these over 100,000 sneakers, and these are exclusives, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. But I could see that happening, and it's a pretty cool idea you just threw out.
Okay. Yeah. So here was another kind of idea that I had for ways that you can use because this isn't the randomness, right? This is the candy machine. This is super dope here, man. So let me share my screen here with you, Wassel. And while I was tweeting about our show today, this thing popped up, and let me see if I can find it. Where is it at here? It's in my folder. Okay. It's in there. I got to learn how to use that better. Okay. So It's in my assets folder. Okay, so this thing here, this McDonald's sample.
McDonald's sample.
Did the McDonald's sample pop up? No, it didn't. It did not pop up. It didn't pop up, but let me share it with you so that you could see it better, because now it's in my screen. Okay, here we go. McDonald's, right?
Oh,
so
yeah,
let's just say, okay, boom, this is an NFT, dog. Okay, and this,
dude, yeah,
you got a layer. You got the background, this blue, this red box. So you just put a box in, but you have 7 different color boxes, right? That randomizes.
What's sick is this could be an NFT, and like if you bought it, it could be like a year supply of Big Macs. I don't know. You know what I mean? Or like one free, 10-piece McNugget every day.
Let's go, bro.
Like you could easily get crazy. Like, I've always thought this was sick. I think it's Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. They are the only men in the world who have the golden McDonald's pass, which is they have
check this out, dog.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's how this is made though. These guys are using these types of tools, right? They created this block, and then they got like 7 different McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
That they just vary, and then they get a couple hot chicks that vary, or a couple
some
chads,
anime thotties.
Right. So you got 3 layers, and then maybe you got like a couple different items from the menu. And to your point, right? It's like, how crazy would this be, dog? Okay. You set up random NFT mint. So I don't even know. It's just spitting them out layers by layers. If you mint a particular
the golden
combination
ticket.
The golden ticket. Here's the layer. If you mint, it has the hot chicks, it's got the Chicago McDonald's, it's got the dystopian background, it's got whatever it is. And then, dude, what is it going to be so tight when we get a scanner that we can scan a actual, not a QR code, but we're able to scan your NFT, and it can see if you have those layers,
those attributes. I gotcha. Yeah. If anything, what you could probably do is like connect wallet to the McDonald's website. Like, put it this way, in a few years from now, you'll go to the Walmart website and you'll see like the DID. You click it at the top, like a profile pic. That should be the direction everything goes, where every website has the option to connect your identity to it. That's, I think, what the future looks like. And then you connect your identity to it. Maybe McDonald's has a bunch of different collections that you can mint, lotteries, whatever it be. You can get a free, chicken sandwich today or whatever. And then ultimately you minted out of this 100,000 supply, the golden ticket, and you want to verify that it is. Connect your wallet, swipe, verify NFT, boom. They have something on their back end that verifies it. And if you win the ticket, it's proven that you did. And so then directly to your wallet, you could be issued, like say they created a McDonald's token just for fun, like a layer 2 token, just to keep track of points. Kind of like how Arcblock has points. Once you verified that you did in fact have the NFT, and you could set it up to where it can only be verified once. So after you verified, it's not like I can send it to the homie and then he verify it too. It's verified once, and you get 1 million McDonald points. And that gives you, you could say, the equivalent to a $10,000, check for McDonald's. I could see them going crazy with all this stuff. And that's why anyone who tells me this isn't the future, I'm like, you don't know capital consumerism then, because this is perfect for capitalism and consumerism.
Yeah. So that's what people need to, they will understand. When there was dial-up and then people went to high speed, I kind of feel like that's where we're at with this a little bit.
Yeah.
We
are in that dial-up stage.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's as significant as a leap. I think it is. I think it's perhaps even more significant technologically. I think it's more to a mind that understands the need for privacy, for ownership. I think it's more important for that. But to maybe the less developed mind, to a younger person, even, they may not understand what the implications are here. When it was very easy for somebody to understand how much cooler it is for me to be going from this modem to the high speed.
Yeah.
That was easy to see, dude.
Yeah, and I will say, for whatever reason, it was easier to see that than it is to see the transformation we're witnessing now, because it's not a visible seeing like, oh my gosh, we went from this to that, and you can visibly see the transformation. This is more so a digital transformation, where the things that are changing and revolutionizing are the things the average person never even noticed to begin with. But what is
well,
it?
no, to that
yeah.
point, Wassel, and let me share with you what I want to talk about MyPage a little bit more. Okay?
If anything, before we cut out or before we brought to a close, I wanted to just talk about the spaces tomorrow.
Please.
And go into that, because I didn't know you were going to be up there too. So I was like, okay, bet. I think it'll be a really cool opportunity for us to both shill our projects and then shill Arcblock a little bit to, as you said, a community outside of our own. And it's cool that, Decentral Bros is doing what they're doing. I've seen them in the space for a while now, and they're really starting to take off. So it's cool to see them networking and connecting with people and inspiring others to hire them to build projects, and then them allow those projects being built to come and talk about it, share the stage. They're the kind of devs that, everybody in this space is looking to find and looking to meet, and there's just so few of them.
Yeah, for certain, man. The Central Bros is cool as hell, man. They're having me and Wassel on tomorrow. We'll be posting those times and places to be. So definitely come check that out. I'm super excited, man. To come and shill MyPage, man. It's pretty funny, because it was like 6 months ago I was talking to those guys like, hey, can you guys build me a blocklet so I can launch it on Arcblock? And they're just kind of like humoring me. A little bit, and
that's what they did to me at first.
Now I'm going on to show my application that I've built.
Yeah, that's how it works, and if anything, it works out better that way, because I used to always reach out to Vinny and Justin, like the smallest idea I would have, I'd reach out and be like, I need you guys to build this for me. And so they'd be like, I don't know, bro. Like, well, if we have time to, and maybe if we get around to it. And so most of the projects that I've had in time past, like, they were either just too strange and like too difficult, like I can't get them to do it. Or it was just so simple that clearly I could probably figure out how to do it on Arcblock. And it wasn't until recently that I finally, shilled them a project and was like, guys, help me make this thing. And they're like, okay, we'll help you make this. So I'm excited for that project too, because it will be an Arcblock project. So hopefully, I'm thinking you and me 12 with a few others, hopefully we can build, along with Cryptor, one of the applications that gets people really excited about downloading a DID wallet, buying ABT, and using that sucker.
Yeah, no, I agree. So one of the things that I built here, let me say, one of the ways that I'm using MyPage, because, and I want to attach this to what you were saying, where maybe people aren't understanding the subtleties of what's shifting here or what's now available to them, and like maybe they're not aware of it, maybe they're unaware of it, they don't even know that they have a problem. And that's kind of a tough thing. Right? Like, how do you go about like letting somebody know you got a big problem here, and here's the solution? I mean, it's easy when you have a product, when somebody's like, I got this problem, man, I got a headache, and you're like, yo, here's a pill.
Exactly. If anything, it's easier to notice that you have a problem. That's why I think in like AA meetings, they say the first step to changing is like recognizing you are the addict or you have a problem. I noticed when I had a problem, or I recognized that there's an issue, it didn't take much longer for my brain to start strategizing ways to get around the issue, or what should I do recognizing there is an issue. But when you recognize there's an issue, say with the world or the economy or the financial system or say the internet, and then you bring it to somebody else that doesn't recognize the issue, they either see you as a conspiracy theorist or somebody who actually is just crazy. I remember in 2020, when I first got
which is why it's so funny when you go into these spaces and you're like, I got an app that I pay with crypto. They treat you like some sort of conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, what? Like, what are you talking about?
It's very strange.
Yeah. That's,
they don't
that's
recognize
why
they have a problem.
they don't. And if anything, that's the problem with crypto as well, is like so many people in the space don't know they think they know why they're in the space. But a lot of the reasons why people are in this space, they'll say it's because I'm protecting my wealth. It's because I'm worried about the government's financial system, or because I'm worried about fiat, deteriorating away into oblivion. Well, then why are you going to then sell your Bitcoin back into fiat? Oh, it's because you just wanted money. You don't care about all this other crap. You don't really care about living out a vision created by Satoshi Nakamoto. You just want more zeros in your bank account. And at first it starts off like, no, we need to get our money out of the banks because they control us. And then once somebody makes enough money, they say, I don't really know if I trust anywhere else but JP Morgan. I got $9 billion in Bitcoin. Maybe I should let JP Morgan, hold it for me. It's like, okay, you just completely went full circle. But what is it?
So here's a problem that I think we are experiencing, and we may not be totally aware of it. And hopefully everybody is going to the Daily Art to read the blogs that I'm writing. I put out a blog every single day this week, dude. So I was pretty
respect. I need to go check those out. I need to get back up on my blogs. I've been lazy these past few days, I'm being honest, but I needed it.
It's all good. It comes in waves, man. So whenever you get it. But I one of the things that I was talking about on there. So there's a blog. It's called MyPage, revolutionizing social media for growing minds. Okay. So there's an issue that we have here, man, is that young people are going and they're using social media, and it's exposing them to horrific ideas, horrific images, things that a young person is way too young to be able to contextualize and to understand. And it's a big problem, man. It is driving a lot of kids to have mental health issues. And I think a lot of parents feel kind of stuck, right? Because we use the tools, we use the social media, and so we feel like hypocrites if we go and tell our kids, no, you can't do it. And so there's and so there's a constant struggle of, how do I bring my kids into this safely? How do I introduce them to these? How do I let them use these tools in a safe environment? Because honestly, it's super fun to create a bio page for yourself, to have something where you can, be a testimony to the things that you've accomplished, to the challenges. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just, oh, here's my friend. It's just fun. And people have been having these sort of diaries for a long time, right? And this is, and so technology has just offered us a new sort of way to diary. At least that's what I think one of the applications for MyPage is. And so let me share this with you real quick, Wassel.
Definitely.
This is one of the ways in which I have began to use the MyPage application. Okay, can you see here? Okay,
I can, yeah.
So basically, you're looking at it's a discussion kit, right? I haven't even changed it that much, but you're going to see here. When we say discussion kit, I was automatically assuming, oh, that's so that I could talk with other people.
Yeah.
This might be a discussion you're having with yourself.
Yeah, no, 100%. It doesn't need to be open to anyone else. I mean, what is it? I think Marcus Aurelius's meditations that so many people read today and look to for guidance and, you could say, inspiration and wisdom. He wrote that entire book intending that nobody would ever read it. It was just for himself and to talk to himself and meditate. And then lo and behold, I think shortly after his death, one of his commanders or somebody who was close enough to him to keep a copy of it and then get it ultimately protected and published and so forth, did that. So he expected no one would ever read that. And it ends up being a wonderful piece of work. And the explorations of an emperor that you rarely see, which is an emperor trying to be a good leader, not an emperor who's just trying to, you could say, justify why he's allowed to do whatever he wants to do.
So be that emperor, people, inside of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it, man. I'm gonna have to go deeper on that, Wassel, because that really talks to me, man. I think that speaks to what I'm saying here. Is like this tool here. See, and I kind of got ahead of myself, man, because we were talking about what's the problem, right? So the problem that I was having, and I was kind of unaware of it, is I'm collecting all of this information all the time, dude. I'm taking pictures, and that's a big part of the information that I'm collecting, right? So we go to the sports games, we go to the park, we're on these bike rides, we're at the, and we're taking pictures with the family, and all these pictures are just ending up on my phone. And I wouldn't give my phone to somebody. I wouldn't give it away. If it broke or I lost it, I would feel like I had lost something because I had placed value in these pictures, but I treat them like garbage. I treat them like they just go in this junk box, and I just take it and I just put it away, and I just keep on throwing stuff in there, right? But these are the memories I actually value these things, right? But and so that's a tough thing to deal with. If you have a desk and your desk is super messy, when you walk by it, it's going to create tension in your mind. And so I didn't realize I was having this sort of anxiety built up simply by my photos, these memories of my life, these valuable things, by me just throwing them in this junk drawer. I was having this anxiety. Really, I wasn't living to my full potential. So I said, damn, what I got to do is I'm just going to use my discussion kit. So now I've created these channels for my family, and we just started doing this. So it's pretty generic, but it's like, okay, I got an emergency channel. So maybe later on when my kids are actually out and about, if there was an emergency, they can just hit this channel up and be like, yo, I'm here. Okay, whatever. I'm just thinking, I'm a dad, right? I'm thinking about ways to use this, man. But now I have vacation channel, right? A sports channel, school channel, bike rides channel. So now when I take a picture at a sports game, I upload the picture. It's like, okay, last night went to a baseball game, right? The baseball game didn't have very many pictures, but I got a picture of my boy playing catcher, played the flamethrowers. He went 2-2. He's single with the RBI double. Okay, bro, I just wrote 4 things that at some point in life, I'm going to come back and look at. I'm not just looking at a picture anymore, dude. I'm now going into that.
Yeah, I just want to say something, because you bring up something I think is deeply powerful, and I know this is the point you're trying to make. Is what I'm looking at here from my perspective is it looks like the kind of post people would make publicly on Twitter, right? It's like a photo of, hey, I'm here at my boys' game. They just played so-and-so with so-and-so. We won. Congratulations. Shout out to all the members of the team, blah, 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 blah. So what you're doing is what you were trying to talk about, which is we need to get out of the streets. You want to post stuff like this, and everyone wants to post stuff like it. The problem is we don't have anywhere private to post it. Like, this isn't the kind of thing you really want to post publicly, but because there's nowhere else to post it, you almost have to do it publicly. And I think there's a desire for people to want to diary their life, document their life. It's just the only places you can do that are public. And now we have a place to do it in our own privacy where, yeah, you are correct. I mean, I'm going to have stuff that I want to look back 2 years down the road, but I don't want to have to depend on Twitter to keep that tweet. I want to be able to know that it's in my file bin and not in my
I don't want to have to walk
bin.
through 20 naked women, through kids getting blown up. I don't want to have to walk through that to go see my diary.
Exactly. Or for your son to see your diary.
Exactly.
It's like, I posted this on Twitter. It's like, he should be able to access what you posted in your space and not have to cross through any other boundaries to get there or to get sidetracked. And so I think, again, going back to what you said a few spaces ago, what we're seeing here is a new approach and way to log on to the internet. And that's what gets me excited about Arcblock is, I feel like, again, the internet, although it's exciting, we haven't seen major changes in it since the dawn of the internet. And we're at a new dawn. And so a lot of the fundamental things that everyone's gotten used to, and the fundamental, or you could say the big names that everyone depends upon, there's new opportunity, and there's going to be new big names coming. And the household names that have basically been running the internet and running our lives on the internet for the past 15 years are going to have to step aside. and make way for bigger players that are offering what people want, like you and I, which is, say, Arcblock. Arcblock, the platform, that's a platform and it's open for anyone to use. But Arcblock, the company, that company is going to be Amazon in the future. That's an Apple. And there's just no question about it.
Dude, you nailed it, bro. That's exactly what I was trying to say, is that, yeah, this is a post. I just posted this, and now, you know, it's for my son. He doesn't have to go through all the madness. Now my mom, who lives, you know, 2,000 miles away, she has a passport. She could come in and she could comment on this photo. She can, you know, so now
it goes to that statement.
Understand that there was value. There's value in these digital networks. There's being able to share these things. There is value. There's value for me to be able to share that with my mom, but we lose the value. I think we devalue it when we go and we put it out into the streets in the way that we do. And here's the thing. I don't think that we would put it out into the streets the way that we do if we understood the value that it has.
You're correct. And basically what you just described is what women go through when they become prostitutes or OnlyFans models. They don't understand the value that they have, so they go and put it out on the streets. And so here we're not having anywhere else to go, so we basically are prostituting ourselves all the time with our data. And the other thing I would say is, when I ask like any average dog, older man, older woman, why are you on social media? Why are you on Facebook? They usually always tell me, well, my friends are on there. My family is on there. And so to connect with them, I get on there to connect with them. Right. And so it's like, okay, what we really need then is not a social media that lets everyone, including the village idiot, in our homes, but a social network that allows everyone to have their own home and allow people in and out as they see fit. That's the future of social networking, not this town square where everyone gets to meet up and yell over each other and see who's got, you know, the most ridiculous idea.
Hangs out in those places.
Nobody does.
Yeah. A very small group of people do. Probably people like us who like to argue about things, but there's no families hanging out in the town square. And I think to your point, we have, because we've been hyper socialized through the school system, we have a distorted idea of what society is in our relation to it. We think, oh, going out or being social is talking to the town vagrant or that town weirdo. It's like, no, that's not being social. You would not do that in your regular life. If you were being social in your regular life, you would go to your neighbor's house. You would go to your aunts and uncles. You would go to your friend who lives down the street, who lives in your neighborhood. You wouldn't be associating with the random strangers that you do in school. You associate with these random strangers. And so we have associated that with being social. And so we accept it in this regards here. Oh, this is what we're supposed to do. Just hang out with random people. It's like, no, that's not really the height of being social.
No, you're right. I wanted to pull up something real quick because what you said reminded me of a quote by Soren Kierkegaard. So I just wanted to pull it up real quick to see if I can, read it. Because basically, and it's funny because this was written like 100 years ago. Where is it? Okay, I don't think I can find it, but he wrote this like 100 years ago, or roughly like 150 years ago, I believe. And so he said that, I think the radio was just coming out. So everyone was starting to get, or the original product of kind of like the radio itself, where like, sounds are coming out of this microphone, so to speak. And everyone's kind of amazed, like, wow, look at this thing. But he projects and he wonders and he says, what will the world look like when everyone has a radio in their hand and they're screaming at the top of their lungs at each other? He says, certainly the government would need to step in and remove all the radios, because everyone would surely go insane yelling at each other all the time. And what's funny is he was right. The problem is that we haven't done anything. We've literally become what he said is the most terrible thing we could do, which is, now that we have a radio, we give everyone a radio in their hands, from the village idiot to the crazy person on the sidewalk to the people who, are murderers and so forth. Like, when everyone has a radio and you're allowing all of people, like everyone's ideas. Put it this way, not everything that pops into your head is a good idea. And it's very rare that very important ideas pop into the most brilliant minds, let alone non-brilliant minds. And so it's not to put everyone down, but it's to say that we talk too much. And like as the Bible says, talk is cheap. Talking all the time gets you nowhere, and it's not really progressive in any way serious. That's why politics, it's all about talking. It's let's politically speak about being progressive, but let's not pass any policies to be progressive or to make things better. So what our modern world is obsessed with is talking about things while watching everything, fall apart. And
we're doing the exact opposite, right? It's like,
yeah, the goal is to let's try to do the exact opposite. Exactly.
We're like,
yeah.
no, okay. I'm recognizing that there is a anxiety being created from the lack of us organizing the information that we've collected. There's been an imbalance in our life. We've got these tools that allow us to collect all of this information, but we have not at the same time created tools that allow us to organize that information. Yeah. And so it becomes, and so that all that information starts to crush us down. And so it's like, yo, maybe, dude, you're probably, if you don't have a way to organize that information, right? If you don't have a place to store your food, probably you shouldn't waste all your time growing the food, because it's going to rot, and you're going to attract flies. You're going to attract all these bad things. So we have all these new tools to collect the information. We have lacked the tools to organize it, and that's creating mental anxiety, mental anguish. And so what I'm saying here is that the Pages kit giving you, MyPage, that gives you the Pages kit and the discussion kit, it gives you the tool to start to organize this information that you're bringing in. It's a tool for your kids to start to organize that information in a way that is modern, right? And so what you see here on my screen right now, Wassel, is the I call this the mid end of it, because it's not really, it's not the back end, right? But it is the social component of your MyPages, man. And you know what I'm saying? You're good. You see people's feeds, comments.
What's cool is you can glimpse into the potential of a social media on Arcblock. And what I like about it is it shows you, like you were saying, the feeds, the comments, the followers, and then it tells you information to the right about you. But then at the bottom, it keeps track about your passports. So I'm like, this is insane. This is legitimate, a new and advanced 21st century profile page. I mean, you could say every profile page is 21st century because most of these apps have come out in the modern century. But this looks new. It looks fresh. And instead of just seeing, say, one of passport, it could be multiple different passports, not knowing what this app is for. But something I wanted to say in reference to what you were getting at is you're 100% right, bro, because prior to Arcblock and being able to start to use Oblivion and Trinity to express some of the things that I'm thinking and feeling, I was, overwhelmingly anxious and at times very quick to snap at people. And I was always frustrated. I'm still kind of like that sometimes, but I always had this, like, not chip on my shoulder, but this frustration with the world. And, I didn't exactly know how to pin it down. But what I realized is it was all of this information coming at me, problems, ideas, excitement, sadness, whatever it be, horrors, beauties, and not knowing what to do with it. I want to act, I want to move, but I don't want to move without purpose. I don't want to act and just join some freedom fighter group or, go pretend like protesting matters or that's going to do anything, yelling in the streets and debating people and so forth. That's not going to do anything. So I was looking for something, and all I really needed was a place to jot down my thoughts and to kind of, get what's in my heart and mind on paper, and not entirely in a public setting, but in a setting that if you wanted to, you can go and read it and look at it. And it's really for, say, my friends or my family and my descendants down the road. And I've always liked the idea of history taking. The only real reason we know about the past is because somebody was like, let me write this down. And Americans are so quick to forget like yesterday. Most Americans don't know what they did just yesterday. And that's kind of like how the whole world is. And documenting in some ways like what you're doing, this is what happened today. Here's a picture. I mean, there's so much incident in America. Most stuff does not make the news. Most stuff will never, even Twitter can't pick up on all the incidents that are going on. So there's important things happening that you may be seeing. And there needs to be a way for you to quickly document it in a sense that can be relevant and stored for like 50 years down the road. And what I'm thinking and doing is I'm not going to trust these people to tell my children the world and the way the world has become and how the world's even found itself here. So I'm like, you know, if you wanted to, you could use the MyPage as a means by which to what you're doing, having a network of legacy or like a legacy network for your family, but a history network where it's like, they're going to tell you in 2040, the pandemic happened like this. I'm going to tell you because I lived through it, how it really happened. And I'm going to have the proof for it. I got the screenshots. I got the video of Fauci. I got it all here. And you won't be able to delete my Twitter account and get rid of it if you don't like what I'm saying. And so we've needed something like this. And it's incredible that Arcblock's produced it and that you're figuring out how to assemble it to then make it easier for the average guy to just download the blocklet and start, you know, interacting with their family, interacting and playing with these new, you know, software tools.
30-day free trial right now, people. Go jump on it. You know, no, 100%, man. I think that this can have real life use application. I think that, you know, people organizing, people having ways to go back and you actually gave me this idea, Wassel. Last time we were talking about 2001, the movie. And I was like, yo, how janky is it, right? Like if you make a post, you go and watch a movie, and then you make a post, and then it's out there, and then what if like 2 weeks later you get like an idea, like, oh man, it becomes more profound to you. You get a deeper understanding. It's like you got to make a whole new post. You can't even build off your old post, right?
Yeah, you can't build out ideas in any meaningful way. Again, Twitter's the only place you can do like a quote tweet. But it's like, okay, sick. Like when I first got into YouTube and I first started making videos, I would make a video. I had my episode 1 and I posted it. And then my episode 2, I would quote post my episode 1. I did for like the first 30 episodes. It was in my pinned tweet where if you clicked on episode 30, it would take you to 29, 28, and so forth. But I purposely had to do that. Right. And I don't really see too many other people doing that. But I wish I could create a better tree, like a better connected tree of where this goes and where this, you know, plots to and whichever.
What the discussion kit is.
Yeah, that's what the discussion kit is. The Twitter in and of itself. I mean, I know Twitter's trying to be other things as well, but I'm like, I need to be able to move beyond just like this way. That's like right. I need to be able to go this way, this way, that way, and horizontally. That's right. And until like I need that kind of app. That's right. That'd be sick.
And you do in order to have a full dynamic, full spectrum experience, man. And that's why those platforms are never going to give that to you, because if you start to have a full dynamic experience, you are going to demand more, and you are going to start to demand things that they cannot provide to you. And that's why they have to keep you in a confined box, man. And it is a very cynical situation, but I swear that's why they're feeding you all the crap. It's to keep your frequency low so that you don't start to demand things that will take you outside of their
their pit. And when you keep people's frequencies low, or you don't allow people to dream and think outside the box, no wonder nothing gets built outside the box. You're not allowing it. You're not enabling it. And Arcblock is enabling that 100%, which is why, I mean, it's cool, which is very different than all the other communities. The initial kind of big players for ETH, they were coders. They were these, full-on front-end, back-end devs that knew what they were doing. And so they were building this platform, and they were building the early apps. I think only like Uniswap and a few other big applications got made by just random people who were like, let's figure this out and get it going. But with Arcblock, it's like finally the users have gotten so bored with the devs not picking up the pace and doing anything, and the devs not feeling like they need to because the users are idiots. They don't know how any of this works. So as long as we keep janking like, yeah, 2026, new upgrade. We're in the merge, then we're going to go to the wave, then we're going to go to the super wave merge, then it's going to be Panda Express. And it's like, okay, when do we get an app? Or like, when does this become life-changing outside of creating more money for BlackRock, more money for Vanguard? Like, it shouldn't be the most important thing is, oh my gosh, a Bitcoin ETF or an Ethereum ETF. Like, aren't you just now empowering the very people you built this whole software to not empower? Like, what's going on here?
Right. Dude, it's like it's backwards. You know what I'm saying?
If anything, I think it's just the devs, because people are too caught up in the world. That's what's so cool about being, I think, following a religion and being a Christian, is it gives you this kind of 2 millennium or multi-millennium scope of reality where you know that the state comes and goes. Rome is not here forever and never will be. You need to be focused on bigger things than the state, because the state might, as of today, have a lot of control, but in 20 years, things could look totally different. So don't listen to always what Rome is saying. Don't always, it's like, yeah, don't go break the law and go start, chaos and anarchy for the sake of doing it. You don't want to bring harm to your fellow citizens for no disregard, but follow what Jesus did, which is just, I'm not here to fight you. I'm not going to go pick an army and a sword of people, and we're going to go and meet in the, in the yard and settle this like the old days, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. I'm going to speak to you, and we're going to try to get across what is the best option and avenue for humanity. And you're going to follow that narrow way. And the reason the best path is narrow is because life is broad. Life is very broad, and you could get caught up in so much different crap. But the point is that it's crap. Stay narrow to some degree. And that path, we're trying to, if you're trying to see the edge of the universe, you can't keep going in circles and circles and circles. You need to find a straight line and hit it and go straight like an ultra light beam to the edges. And what we're not doing anymore is ultralight beaming and having the aggressive desire to do so. Jesus wasn't an alpha because he was beating up people. He was an alpha because he wasn't allowing the powers that be to tell him what he can and cannot say. And
to that point, being an alpha, listening to people go, oh, I can't talk about this right now. I got some thing under wraps, man. We got some things cooking, man. It's like, bro, that's the most beta thing that you could actually do, bro. Like, you could, and everybody's like gassing them up too, like, oh yeah, I can't wait. Oh yeah, that's gonna be so fresh.
That's even more beta. I'm like,
that's what I'm like, dude. This is like, bro, my back's hurting just listening to you guys talk, dude. Like, what the heck, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no respectable person. Like, hold on, I know I'm kind of throwing shade here, Wassel, and I'm trying not to, man. And I don't want to be so degrading there, dude. But as a man, dude, like, it's just not the business to go bragging about what you're gonna do. It's like, talk about what you're doing. You can talk about what you've done. I mean, you could say, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can say, oh, this is like where I'm headed. But when your whole spiel is about what you're going to do, and the evidence that you have, what you have accomplished, is actually very little. It's like, bro, you guys are blown.
No, you're 100%. You're 100% on point. Which is, it's like, okay, if you're claiming you're going to accomplish something and you have a record of accomplishing some things, okay, cool. And I get it. This is the first time you're trying it. Maybe you don't have a back record, but I believe in you. It's when you go months to years on end, and you're still hyping up the same people about the same thing with no resolution. That's what I'm seeing is like, the Bitcoin maxis are excited about the same thing Bitcoin maxis were in 2009. The XRP maxis are excited for the same things they were excited about in 2012. And it's like, guys, if you are incapable of changing and recognizing that some of the stuff you thought 2 years ago was no bueno, not anymore. In the moment, it sounded good.
Right.
But now you've matured a little bit, you've gotten more data, more info, and you're like, okay, I wasn't thinking rationally or as rationally as I could have been back then, but now I've matured. If you're not capable of doing that, then I feel sorry for you, because the whole world is going to feel unfair. The whole world is going to feel like you can't get anything done because you keep trying the same bull crap and you're getting bull crap.
Man, Wesley, you're a smart dude, bro. I swear, man, you are a smart person, man. You got your finger on the pulse of people, man, and that's important.
I'll just say some of the stuff that I'm talking about has really just been reflecting on myself. Like everything I'm talking about,
that's what the smartest people do, though.
Yeah, it's no shade on the person who, I mean, if you're listening to me and you feel like I'm talking to you, it's because I'm probably talking to you. Right. And what is it? There's again an important aspect to reflect on what you're doing and who you are and why you think the things you do. And if you can't I'll say the thing that kind of taught me to think like this is when I was younger, and starting to access the internet and stuff. As a Christian, you get thrown into a world that completely hates God. And when you're a younger Christian, you almost don't recognize that. You don't realize that, oh yeah, I forgot the world killed Jesus. I thought the world likes Jesus. No, the world does not like Jesus. The world hates God because God wants to judge the world. And men don't like to be judged. They just want to do what they want to do and not and always be justified, whether it's killing somebody or raping somebody or whichever. They're always right. A man always thinks he's right even when he's wrong. But aside from that, I was introduced to because I've always been interested in science, these deep debates between religion and science. And so I grew up listening to the Dawkins and the Christopher Hitchens. And so what I wanted to do is hear the most powerful arguments on the other side. I needed to know what they were saying so I could make my belief and my argument for belief that much more stronger. Sure. And I'll say, like, it was difficult to listen to some of these guys because they would say the things that you almost thought like it's blasphemy that you just said that. But I have to be able to take such, rebuke or to take such jabs, or else how can I really stand my ground? How can I speak what I believe is the truth if I can't, brush off some of these cruel words or brush off some of these rude remarks? So it was from kind of growing up understanding that if you want to know what you know, or if you want to have a firm grounding in what you believe, you need to go figure out the antithesis of your belief, the opposite of your belief. And once you've heard their best arguments, then you can create a more, still-manned view of how you should approach the world. And it's kind of from that I learned that, look, I need to, one, not just hear what other people are saying, but I need to really question what I believe. Because if I've never looked in the mirror and said, well, why do you believe this? Wassel, what is the real reason for this belief? Then, you're kind of just an idiot and you're just following the crowd and you're not thinking for yourself. And right now the crypto space is filled with a lot of of people like that, but the whole world is. I mean, anyone who's just clocking in from 9 to 5 and believing that when they turn 65, they're going to have their 401k waiting for them is an idiot. They haven't done any reflection. And I'm like, guys, that might have worked for the boomers. That's only worked for one generation. In all of human history, it's only worked for one generation.
How's that working out? How's that?
And you think it's going to work for another and another all the way into forever? No.
Yeah. I would push back on your say working, dude, because
it's not even like it is working.
Yeah,
even some of the boomers are about to retire to find out that all the money they thought they had, they didn't have.
That's right.
And I think that's the beginning of a societal collapse when the old folk feel failed, the middle-aged folk feel like there is no hope and that they're not getting any, you could say.
Well, it's true. No, they did this. Even the 401k, who knows? I don't know everybody's 401k situation, but I could tell you, if you're looking for that Social Security check,
it's all time. Yeah.
That is a scam. It's been a scam since the very beginning. And it's not going to be there for you any type of way that you think is going to be. And if it is in that type of way, if they do come through and save Social Security at some point, it's only going to be through this typical means of inflation. And so even though you get your check, you're going to be paying twice as much for everything. So
yeah, it's like, okay, I like the one meme. Yeah, the one meme is we're millionaires, but bread's $1,000 now, so it doesn't matter. And
well, what I'm saying is anybody who's growing into their older life with an expectation that their government is going to take care of them, I would say
that's a childish expectation. That's you are thinking like a baby.
That's right.
If you're pushing 60 and you still think there's someone here to help you or save you outside of God, you're a bloke. You're kind of retarded. I'm sorry to say. How have you been on this planet more than half a century, and you think the government's here to help you? It's kind of crazy.
Cattle. It's just it's cattle. So hey, let's get into some moon talk real quick before we get out of here, man, because we got to have some
let's
moon
do it.
talk. All right. So one of the blogs that I wrote. It was kind of talking while everyone is watching the floor, Arcblock's about to blow again. So, I got to do some pricing, man. But this really wasn't.
We have to. The importance is not that the whole 2 hours be priced. That's what most people do is they spend 2 hours on price and then the last 10 minutes on ideas. Yeah. We like to do the opposite, but let's get into the price because I like talking
what
price
I was saying
too.
The price, right, is $1.70. I don't know where it's at right now. I rarely ever even look at it. But $1.70. And so what my blog was drawing attention to was what investing in it Arcblock right now actually exposes you to. Not actually, but some of the other things maybe people aren't seeing or thinking about, right? So right now, a MyPage application is going to cost you about 6 ABT per month. All right. At $1.70, that's $10.20 a month, Wassel. So you're getting your own website, you're getting your own Discord, you get for $10.20. So it's already cheaper. You got no contracts. It's already cheaper, easier, more accessible than typical web building platform. So right there, it's better because it's cheaper. Okay.
Yes.
But
it's better because you own your stuff. Like you're not renting it. Yeah.
For certain. Right. But some people are going to go, oh, well, not everybody cares about owning and this. It's like, okay, I get it. Bottom line, it's cheaper. Okay.
Yeah.
But let's just say you bought some right now. Like I was saying, you bought your 200 and you're like, all right, this is going to be my next 3 years. And I'm investing in my business right now. I know right now, if I buy this 200, I'll be able to run my site, my enterprise for the next 3 years. Here's my plan. Right. So you buy your 200. Well, let's just say that Arcblock blows up, right? And it gets to $10, $15. I seriously, Wassel, could see this going to $100 a coin. Once people start to understand what the real utility here is. And it's 186 million capped, right?
Yeah.
So here's my moon prediction. It goes to 100. Well, I ran the math on this, Wassel. Right now, you're paying 6 ABT per month, okay? If the same sort of shifts occurred, and I know we're just because historically, as the value of the token has went up, the cost to use these services goes down. So there's a relation there. Price of token goes up, the cost of the services go down. So if you bought it right now, right, and it went to $100, at $100, you would be paying 0.1 ABT per month to run your MyPage site. So, but your initial investment that you said this is going to take me for 3 years, right? Let's just say halfway down the road it gets to 100 or even 50, and you're paying 34 cents a month. Bro,
if you bought at the right time, a $200 investment could literally pay for your entire subscription to MyPage and an entire application development for like 50 years. If you bought it at the right time. Yeah, easy.
Dude, if you bought this 7 months ago, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it goes to
if you bought it 7 months ago,
you'd be paying like you'd be paying like at the price that you paid it for, like a penny for
Yeah.
a month of premium web service. Bro, once this relation, this mathematical equation starts to get out and people the degens start to see this investment opportunity, I think that's going to blow it open too, man.
No, definitely. And on price real quick, whenever I think about Arcblock's price, what I always come back to is just the basic tokenomics of it when comparing it to, say, other tokens and so forth. So I 100% agree with you. $100 token ABT is definitely on the table because that's only a 10 billion market cap. And I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds like completely like, oh my gosh, $10 billion. Where would that come from? In the last bull run, Dogecoin went to $70 billion. For anyone who wasn't here last cycle, Dogecoin, all-time high, $70 billion. What is Dogecoin at now? I have to see. What is Dogecoin at now? Let's see. Dogecoin is at 11 cents. It still has, as of this day, a $15.7 billion market cap. If you drew that market cap out of Doge and into ABT, ABT is a $150 token.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Dogecoin, a token that literally, I think 10,000 more gets printed every day and you can't do anything with it. So here's
the thing, right? If you did buy the ABT early and then it gets to that 100, now this is why it's kind of like real estate in a sense. Now you got some cheap land and now you're building super cheap for what other people relative coming in are paying a higher price. And so you get all of this opportunity to try new things, to experiment that other people are not going to be doing because they are holding on tighter.
They're having to buy in at a higher price too. That's kind of what I'm doing now, to be honest, where because of ABT's run up, I was able to experiment a little bit more, and I am experimenting a little bit more because I got in early. So you get out a little bit and you're like, okay, cool. I have my, my eternity bags where they're locked in. So if I die tomorrow, Oblivion and Trinity are going until the end of days. But then I also got like, my profit bags where once certain prices get hit, I need to pull that out and I need to start reinvesting those things and building out the ecosystem. So just recently, like right now, most people are focusing on, I need to get more ABT. I want to get my bags bigger. I thank God that I was able to get in early enough. I wasn't able to get a crazy as much as I wish I could, but I was able to get enough that now I don't really need to worry about accumulating bags. I kind of have a good amount, not to be too greedy or anything. But I can sell some and start building an application that does cost a little bit more money, a little bit more of a larger team to build out. That's what I'm doing with the Decentral Bros. And then from there, bring that app to Arcblock. So it has entirely worked out, as you said. And my hope is that it continues to the same thing continues to play out, and then each play out is 10x bigger. So this time around, you could say with that pump we saw in ABT, I was able to walk away and hopefully build a good application, bring it over, turn it into a blocklet. The next pump, okay, what's the next biggest thing? And the goal is to keep following these pumps till we're able to bring out enough money and start building rockets. And we're able to start doing some crazy, or forget CERN, we're going to go build our own Hadron colliders and start breaking the laws of physics. And don't care if it's in Switzerland or in Antarctica, and we're not taking no for an answer. So that's how I'm thinking.
Bro. That is you're already doing exactly what I laid out in this blog here, man. So
so you're thinking on par 100%, like with the way I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's man, bro. It brings happiness because it feels like that's a blessing, dude. It really does, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you get those kind of opportunities, man, and you can see them, you know what I'm saying? That's the blessing right there, that you can actually see that.
Absolutely. I thank God that I live to the point where I can see it come to fruition. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest, guys, like to anyone watching this or to anyone who might see this, like those first 2 years, they were dark. Like, I mean, all of crypto was down. Everyone, I mean, the FBF or the SBF Crisis and FTX and just like, the NFTs basically going to zero, like every single one of them. There was so much hate on the industry. Everyone in the industry hated the industry, and everything was going to absolute lows. There was every reason to walk away. And I mean, some moments I really was like, bro, I lost so much money in that cycle. I don't know why I'm living anymore. I don't know why I failed. I failed my legacy. I failed my lineage. And you go into a really dark and deep place, or really not deep place, a dark and nihilistic place. And I thank God that He brought me out of it. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I don't really care about the money that much. Like having.
Well, dude, hold on, real quick, Wessel, because I think what you're talking about is something that drives the pathology in crypto, man.
You're correct. Yeah.
Is that a lot of people have held on to a coin and then sold it and then seen it pump afterwards or something to that. Like they've been so close to it, dude, in their mind, even though there was all types of shenanigans going around to make it seem like that. But I had that in my hand and I sold it. I got to do this again. I got to do this again. It's like you walked away from the slot machine and the guy that came down like two after you,
right after you hits the exactly.
You don't know that he works for the casino.
Yeah, and he did it just to make you feel that way. No, 100%. It's kind of like those memes where it says like, when I sell and it pumps, when I hold it doesn't move, but when I buy it tanks. You know what I mean? So
I think that's what's driving people in their mind, and it gets them into that hodl thing. They're like, okay, I screwed up before one time, dude, and it went through my hand, and I'm not going to do it again.
No, you said it. What ends up happening, and I found myself partly in that position, and I thank God, my mentality just switched ultimately. And what it was I was at first the guy who I'm holding until $1 million basically. And then I was that guy who once it went to $1 million, I was like, why not 10? Why not higher? And then it never goes to 10. And then you see the million turn into 10,000 and you never sold. And you're like, oh my gosh, why have I done this? What did I just do? And what you have to teach yourself and understand is that, guys, a number, a digit in an app should not dictate how you feel. Number go up should not make you feel any better. Number go down should not make you feel any worse as a person or individual. Nothing exterior in this life should make you feel any different about who you are as a person. Less of a failure, more successful, whatever it be. And it's when you prioritize the exterior world, you destroy the interior world. And that's why you feel like crap, because you're putting all your value in something that actually is less valuable than you. There is nothing, in truth, more valuable in this the blade of grass outside your home has more genetic uniqueness and value than anything man has ever made. So we have to not get too caught up in all this, because at the end of the day, that's why I like, the movie Solar Genesis. One solar flare and everything all of mankind has built for and moved towards is gone in a day. What are you gonna be happy about then? When everything, the whole Tower of Babel is completely collapsed into the ocean and nothing is available for us. No internet, no Walmart, no anything. Your neighbor's trying to cannibalize you. How can you be happy for anything then, unless you have a belief in God? So, you can't be happy for the world in an exterior sense, because the world is a living hell. So how do you find happiness in hell? You have to go inner. You have to go internal. And just so many people have completely forsaken the internal world for the material world. And that's why, again, I like the world. It's cool. But sometimes I'm like, dude, I just want to log off for good sometimes. And hasta luegos, not that I'm suicidal, but if God killed me tomorrow, I wouldn't be too sad about it. Because like Solomon says, there's, all the stuff to do that's under the sun. You could build all these things, but it's kind of all vanity. Like Solomon says, I had 1,000 wives. I built anything I wanted. I had so much money. I bought me male singers and female singers, entertainers. And at the end of the day, I was still looking for more. I wasn't satisfied. It was like I kept trying to grab for the wind. I would feel it and woof, it was gone once again. And you don't want to be that person who lives their whole life grabbing for the wind, and at your deathbed, you've never felt the wind. That's a scary feeling, having lived your whole life for something that you've never actually touched. I don't want to be that person.
No. Well, so man, I'm gonna wrap it up right there, bro.
Yeah, that's probably a good point to wrap it up.
Yeah, no, it is, man, and because I wanted to talk about mental health a lot, man, and that I think you just really put a cap on it, man. So with that being said, Wassel, thanks for coming through. Thanks for everybody who joined us on the daily Arc recap. We do this every week, and please, man, we're gonna continue to do so. If there's anything that you guys want to hear about, and you guys any suggestions, any news breaking, anything, any projects that you want to share, I mean, that's really why I'm doing this, man, is to have something for the community to come through and share, man. And so I'll keep chopping it up with my man Wassel, but everybody is invited to come through, share your projects, share your thoughts, man, and just share your energy. So Wassel, you got anything else you want to say, brother?
I got nothing else. Just thank you again, 12, for having me on. It's always a pleasure, and I look forward to the next time, bro.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to try to shut this off and see if I can keep you on. All right, guys? We'll see you next time. Peace. All right, so I'm hitting end stream here. End stream.